You know it was a rough night when the minivan puts you away. Old George Niang, 6 threes in Atlanta last night. So the Warriors' first game on this East Coast road trip, obviously no Steph Curry. Hawks come out and hang a 40 ball in that first quarter. And the Warriors certainly helped their cause with a lack of transition defense, a lack of communication. They just weren't sharp, they weren't crisp. And Atlanta is one of those NBA spots where traditionally they have a very good home court because guys like to go out in the ATL, right? It's one of the hot spots with nightlife and whatnot, but not sure they did. If you look at the schedule, who do we play? Toronto Thursday. I don't know if they had any time for that, but it kind of looked that way, right? And not only was the defense and the rotation, the sharpness not there, uh, offensively, we started to bog down. Now, we shot the three ball well. Pods continues to just really shoot the ball well, right? But I think the discussion is Kaminga in this Jimmy offense. Kaminga not closing the game, right? And I keep seeing this number, minus 18. He was a minus 18. Well, everyone was a minus 18, it felt like, in that first half, right? Look, I understand not having the patience for Kaminga right now. I do. But to me, he's shown us enough glimpses. There's been enough instances where it's like, oh, he's 22, like, and he's showing that he can get it, even if he hasn't got it yet, as far as just like the big picture and feel for the game. Is he going to be Magic Johnson? No. Like, we understand he's not going to be Lamar Odom out there just like setting guys up and all this stuff. But I think that there is a need for another guy that can go get a bucket. And in the first half, what did he have? 14, 15 points. And he got downhill. He got to the line. The three, but it looks like with the three, it looks like he's aiming it to me right now, where he's so concerned with his form that he doesn't have any flow or rhythm. But what he needs to control, what he can do better, and has nothing to do with Steve's rotation, is communicate and motor. Right? Those are the things he can control each night. And he doesn't communicate well on switches and screens in particular. And then the motor, like there was a play where he turned it over and on a breakaway, he would be the trail guy. He could either chase down, contest, or box out Daniels, who was running with him. And he doesn't hustle. He scampers off to Trae Young, who's trailing the play, and then it's a putback dunk from Daniels. Those decisions, that lack of motor there, I understand why he sat in the fourth quarter. I understand that. At the same time, I didn't like how he was used in the third quarter. Because in the third quarter, when the offense bogged down, and you're seeing how stagnant the offense is in this Jimmy offense, right? In this Jimmy offense, these others are going to have to take tougher shots. They're going to have to be more aggressive when the ball gets swung, because there's not going to be Steph relocating and bailing you out, right? The traditional Warrior offense, especially the young guys, they've been programmed like, hey, pass up a good shot for a better one. And if you wait, Steph will get back open. And so they're not ready to shoot at times, and it bogged down. And I thought that those were the minutes, just like in the first half, where Kaminga gave us a punch offensively, where it was like, all right, put the ball in his hands, especially when Jimmy's sitting. It's like, put the ball in his hands. Let's see what he can do getting downhill, if he can get to the line and provide some offense. Instead, we were running like GP2 loony handoffs. And like that didn't help his cause. I didn't like that, but I do understand overall why he sat, because of the things that he can control, he's not controlling. The motor, the communication, right? And the little things, the in-between game that has to be there for him. But in these non-Steph games, I think that they've got to force feed him the ball and give him a little more opportunity to try to carry the offensive load, especially when Jimmy's not out there, right? And then you saw Quentin Post, and that was, if you want to talk about the defense, and Trae Young, look, Trae Young is, y'all know evil Flash, right? Like reverse Flash. There's good Flash bet. Trae Young is like evil Steph. He's reverse Steph. And obviously he's not like at Steph's level, but he's just like unethical Steph with the way he baits fouls and plays the game. But where he is similar to Steph is the type of pressure he can put on a defense. And for most of the game, we were half-stepping with our rotations to Trae Young. You've got to blitz him like they do Steph, right? Or you gotta do something else on the backside. They were like, oh, we're kind of gonna try, we're gonna show help. No, he's way too crafty for that. And then you combine that with the fact that their others were making shots, right? I had the Hawks telecast, Dominique Wilkins, one of my favorite players of all time, maybe not the sharpest commentator, but boy, could he get up above the square, right? But you could tell the Hawks announcers were surprised how well they were shooting. So it was one of those nights, right? But we didn't help that cause. The other thing defensively that I didn't like was uh, Onyeka Okongwu killed us on the switch, right? And I didn't necessarily think we had to make those switches. We were just passively switching, and he was getting moody. He was getting pods, whoever he wanted on the block, and he looked like AD in there, right? And it didn't feel like we were switching out of necessity. It was more out of laziness. And so the defense wasn't there. The Hawks are hot, and it is what it is. You're going to get what you get, right? And I said it in today's breakdown. Like if this was game 20, everyone would just kind of shrug and be like, all right, okay, what? But we know, what is it, 11 games left? You can't have this game right now. And that's the messaging that Draymond gave after the game. I like that he said that because typically Draymond downplays stinkers like this, right? Usually he's like, watch, we'll bounce back. Da, 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 da. But he made it clear as the voice of the team, like, no, we can't have that. We can't have that. Was part of it that their eyes and mind were in Miami already for this big matchup Tuesday night? I'm telling you, it's going to be like game 7 of the finals in there. I think it's going to be super hard to get that win. While Steph remains out, I have 2 suggestions, 2 tweaks to the rotation right now because we're playing Jimmy ball. One, Guy Santos. Guy doesn't make nearly as much sense when Steph's not playing. They have a good chemistry, and the gravity, the spacing, his kind of frenetic movement and rapid cutting and stuff, it makes sense with Steph on the floor, and that's why they've played a lot of minutes together. Now, in the stagnant Jimmy offense, Kevin Knox makes a lot more sense than Guy because we need more of a shot creator. We need more of a shot creator. And if you haven't heard the news, they signed Kevin Knox yesterday for the remainder of the season. I'm assuming he's playoff eligible, right? And I won't lie to you, though. My first thought wasn't, hey, to take Guy's minutes in this Jimmy offense. It was, is this a little bit of Kaminga insurance? Heading into this contract negotiation, not that he's going to exactly 1-for-1 replace Kaminga, but if the negotiations were to go south, they're like, hey, well, here's another young lottery pick of that ilk that we can retain the rights to. I believe they'll keep his rights in signing him like this. But I'd like to see maybe Knox get the Guy minutes so long as Steph is out as another shot creator in this more traditional, like standstill offense, right? And then in that third quarter, Trace is creeping back into the lineup a little bit, right? He's creeping back into the lineup a little bit, and he had a couple impact plays. Again, while Steph is out, Trace may make more sense than Looney, specifically for Jimmy, right? And again, this traditional standstill offense where he can hang out in the dunker spot or he can be a vertical spacer on the roll and give Jimmy another check down, another pass option that is, I was going to say finish better than Looney, but does he? I don't know. But those are my 2 thoughts as far as maybe switching up the rotation here with life without Steph here for the next couple games at least. And, look, the Lakers lose to the Bulls. We've talked about it. This is the time of year where upsets happen. And you hear this too from like the scouts and like the people that are watching these young players, like this doesn't matter. All these teams but the Hawks are in the playoffs. You knew they could beat you coming into it. There's no real excuse to have this type of letdown. Even if they were shooting hot, we deserve to lose that game. And so now you got to get one back here on this road trip. Yeah, that's all I got for you on this one. The other thing I would say is talking about rotations. I know Quentin, to ask him to get up high on Trae Young pick and rolls is asking a lot, but he almost feels essential in the offense, again, in this Jimmy offense. We'll see if Trace gets another opportunity and what adjustments are made. If Knox can join the team, I'd like to see that, but you got to shake it off. And I'm excited for this Miami one. The alchemy jinx. So I say we get blown out. We get blown out and the sky is going to be falling. No, it's going to be an intense playoff environment in South Beach for Jimmy's return. And you know where to find the coverage. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.